It's just a matter of pulling yourself together. When you hear these words, either directly or indirectly, your heart twists. It's just a matter of pulling yourself together. Is maybe a sentence that you have been accustomed to, because you probably have taught 1,000 times already. But in the moment these words come from outside of you, it hits you.
Pull yourself together!
And you've done everything in your power to power through. Despite the effort of positive thinking, the opposite of the desired results becomes a reality. And the fear of, I'm not good enough, starts to creep in. And then the following sentence, there must be something completely wrong with me, something fundamentally wrong with me, becomes maybe a truth, maybe something that you seek.
I think there must be something wrong with me, Linus.
It's like this gut feeling, oh, there must be some wrong with me, gets embodied within you. You know, it's very nice to be able to assert to yourself that there is actually something wrong with me. That belief is helping you avoid that responsibility.
She got the diagnosis.
Because it's not my fault that I don't have energy and drive. Everybody seems to be doing fine, so there must be something wrong with me. There's only one problem with that, and that's that you lose information that's vitally important for you and your life. Information that actually is meant to help. So in this video, you're gonna know exactly why you struggle with the lack of energy in life. So here are 3 things that your doctor doesn't tell you about burnout. Number 1, burnout means that you are distracted.
I am sitting in my room in Oslo. It's dark outside, and the room is illuminated only by the streetlights outside. I'm on my knees with my head bent and my hands in my face. My whole body aches as if I have inflammation in my bones. Behind me, I have 5 years of experience in physical exercise. I was training 14 hours a week in all forms: strength, interval, running, cycling, and even had a personal trainer. Even though I have trained a lot and eaten healthy, everything feels like a chore. Just having to sit upright feels like a battle. I'm 21, and I think if this is the age when I should be in the best shape of my life, I can't imagine what's going to happen as the years go by. I had overcome depression before and was worried about where I was heading now. It's been 6 months since I got my electrician's license and started working. I hate it, and I feel completely useless. With tears rolling down my hands, I think, what am I going to do with my life?
So, everything in life has a purpose. See this cup, for example. The purpose of this cup is to hold water within it, so I can drink. The purpose of a knife is, of course, to cut something. The purpose of a pen is to write or draw. And everything has a purpose, including you. And all other human beings has a purpose. We also know that whatever doesn't serve its purpose will eventually decay and be eradicated. So a knife that no longer can cut will be useless unless you find a new purpose for it. And a cup that can't hold water, you know, if you accidentally, broke the glass, you can try to, glue it all together and try to prank someone with giving them this glass and have them spill water all over themselves. That's a new purpose. That original purpose doesn't work anymore. So every single human being has a purpose in their heart. And some people call it their life mission. Some people call it their highest values. Some people call it their burning desire from within. I just like to call it a life purpose. Your life purpose is going to become what is most meaningful and most purposeful to you. So how do I know that I live my life purpose? Well, that's a great question, and I know exactly a good question to ask you that you can ask yourself in order to find out if you're living your purpose or not. So, are you grateful for your day? At the end of the day, are you actually grateful? Do you feel a deep sense of gratitude and fulfillment for your day before you go to bed? If you do not feel a deep sense of gratitude and fulfillment and satisfaction for your days, then you're not living your purpose. And the true reason why you're not living your purpose is because you're distracted. You're distracted by emotional baggage.
Whoa,
Ted, please tell me you are not impugning emotional baggage.
So what is emotional baggage really? Well, it's the shame you carry, it's the guilt you carry. It's the fears and worries and anxieties you carry. It's the bitterness towards actions of other people that you carry. Maybe a bad relationship, or your parents, or a friendship, or whatever. Or just another person. It's events in your life with a catastrophic nature. Can be, death by a million paper cuts, which we call trauma with a small t, or it could be big traumatic events that you really know, of course, that happened. It's not like, oh, is that a negative memory in my life or not? With a big T trauma, you're gonna know. But the small t traumas is like I said, a death by a million paper cuts. It's, for example, when your mom rejected you, or the first person that you showed interest for rejected you. This might not be conscious, but it might be more unconscious sometimes. This emotional baggage that you carry creates mental clutter. It's like ruminating thoughts all the time. And it's like walking in the fog. This mental fog settles over your life and clouds your clarity about who you really are and your life purpose. This is one of the most important things for the human experience. As Carl Jung said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. When you carry emotional baggage, you go around feeling that you're not good enough. You're feeling inferior to other people. Other people have better career, better family, better health, more energy. And to compensate for this feeling of not being good enough, you try to show up for everybody. You're people-pleasing. You're sacrificing what's important for you for what's important for everybody else. You're trying to live according to other people's expectations, and the result of that is a life of desperation instead of a life of inspiration. There's a spark of life within you, and it's not something that just a few lucky people have in their life. It's built into the human experience. Enthusiasm and inspiration is like a flame within you. And a flame needs oxygen to thrive. If not, it will suffocate. And if you're not giving permission to be yourself, and if you're not dedicating yourself to your life purpose, you will suffocate. Number 2, there's a meaning behind your burnout.
2 years later, I'm out for a walk alone in the forest in Oslomarka. It's a summer afternoon and the sun is beating down. I'm walking along the gravel road and I find a trail that looks inviting. It's a steep incline and I start to walk, feeling my pulse start to rise, feeling the energy flow through my entire body. It's almost as if every step gives me more and more energy. I'm smiling from ear to ear as I soon reach the top of the hill and realize that having surplus energy and being present in the moment is the most delightful feeling in the world. I look back on my life with a bird's eye view and realize that my entire life has felt like a struggle. I've been devoid of energy. Everything felt like a chore, from bending down to picking something up off the floor, getting up in the morning, taking a walk or whatever. Everything felt heavy. Maybe I've been a zombie, I mutter to myself with a bit of humor. I think back to that moment 2 years earlier, where I sit in my dark room in Oslo and wonder what to do with my life. That evening, I wrote my resignation letter, and it was my last day of working in my life. Since then, I've had been working in many jobs, but I had a feeling that I wasn't working for anyone else. I was working for myself. While working as an electrician, I listened for 8 hours straight to audiobooks and podcasts on self-mastery, psychology, nutrition, health, philosophy, and entrepreneurship. It was obvious that I dreamed about doing something completely different, but I had so much fear in me. Fear of not being smart enough, fear of not being good enough, fear of being rejected by family and friends, fear of not making money, fear of not having enough energy. As I walk further along the trail, I think how grateful I was to experience burnout.
Now, you probably already know this, but the universe doesn't waste resources. All systems that no longer serves a purpose will automatically decay and be eradicated. It's just like a house that you don't put energy into. That house is actually gonna deteriorate. And in the same way, if you don't use your muscles, you're gonna lose your muscles. If you don't use your brain, you're gonna lose your brain. This is the law of entropy. A company that's not longer using its resources efficiently and effectively with a purpose, which is to fulfill the needs of their customers. If a company can't do that efficiently anymore, it will automatically lose its resources and other competitors is going to take over. And this company, if it can't do that in a long enough time frame, is going to go bankrupt. Ecosystem in the forest, let's say a plant or a tree that can't use its resources, which is sun and water, efficiently will also deteriorate. And as I said earlier, everything has a purpose. So what is the purpose of burnout? Why do you lose all your energy so the only thing you can do eventually is to lie in your bed all day? What is the purpose of being bedridden and having hardly any energy for your doing anything? So I invite you to think about this. What is the only thing that you can do when you're bedridden? It's visualizing. Visualize how you want your life to be. Visualize your priorities. Visualize your dreams. Visualize your life purpose. How you want to have your life. Because you're forced to spend your energy on you and not everybody else. Because your energy is one of your resources. And if you don't use your energy most efficient and effective towards your life purpose, you're going to lose the ability to do so. That is the purpose of a burnout. I remember when I was working with a client that had this chronic fatigue syndrome, and we dove in to check, what was going on there. And the truth is that she was actually, when she had all this energy, she was saying yes to everybody, never prioritizing herself, never being able to put the boundary and saying no and prioritize actually what she wanted to do. Now, she thought she wanted to be there for everybody else, but you see, that's not how life works. You need to show up for yourself and then show up for others in a fair exchange. So as we go deeper into this, I'm asking her some powerful questions. We discover that actually, when she says no, she feels a lot of shame and guilt, and she can't handle those feelings. So in order to avoid these feelings, she's saying yes. There's a feeling she's not good enough. She's trying to compensate to get everybody else to like her because she doesn't like herself. She's being a people pleaser. She ends off wasting all her energy on all the other people that are eventually, using her because she always says yes. And eventually her body shuts down to help her say no. So because she couldn't use her voice to say no, thank you, but no thank you, she's using her body to say no and set that boundary. Now, this individual spent years trying to get help from doctors, trying to get help from support groups, trying to get help from psychologists and all of this, but it was actually the inner work that was needed to be done, which I facilitated with her through some powerful questions that helps her see the order and see the purpose of what was happening and see the meaning of what was happening. Once she understood the meaning, she actually starts to become grateful for her body saying no. And within that, we started to make progress. She started to regain energy. She started to learn how to say no, set boundaries, learn the importance of that. We also worked a little bit with the cause, the problem behind the problem there with the shame and the guilt. help them resolve some of that, and she starts to regain her energy. Number 3, if you don't have a strong reason to live, you have a strong reason to die. Now imagine that you're sitting on a plane, you're going to some exotic location, somewhere you really would love to go, and this airplane that's flying, it needs a negative feedback system in order to say to the pilots, hey, you're on the right track or you're at the wrong track, you know? So this negative feedback system, when the plane is going the wrong way, will say to the pilots, hey, dear pilots, you're going the wrong way. You're gonna need to adjust so we get back on track. Or in this case, in your life, back on purpose. So your body stealing your energy doesn't necessarily mean that there's something fundamentally wrong with you. It means that you are off track in your life. You're living off your purpose. Lifestyle diseases and degenerative diseases are often a symptom of people not living according to their life purpose, because your body will do everything it can to try to help you and live your life purpose, including your brain. So when you see and you do something that's within your highest values, your purpose, your burning desire in your life, when you do that, your brain, the best part of the brain is gonna lighten up. The blood, the glucose and oxygen, all the nutrients in the brain is gonna be firing up that best and most advanced center of your brain, which is the prefrontal cortex and telencephalon. And when you fail to see that what you're doing in a day doesn't fulfill your purpose, your brain is actually going to deteriorate. It's going to send the blood, the glucose and oxygen, it's going to send all the nutrients down to the lower centers of the brain, the more primitive centers of the brain. You're going to be more prone to frustration and stress and all these kind of things. And the core of this is, are you grateful for your days? Because if you're truly grateful and feel fulfilled and satisfied when you go to bed, you know that you're on purpose. Actually, there's no question when you're on purpose. You don't need to question, oh, am I on purpose? That's not a question when you're on purpose. When you're on purpose, you know. And I'm certain that times in your life, you felt that way. Maybe for a day, maybe for a week, maybe a whole month or a year. But I'm certain that you have experienced that. And the biggest thing you can do for your life is to get back on track, back on your life purpose. Now, some people like to look at what the body and brain is doing when it's, deteriorating and having diseases and all of these kind of things. They look at that, that's something terrible. There's something wrong with your body. And these people are often looking for external substances or whatever in order to fix themselves. But the problem isn't there. It's like blaming the firefighter where there is a fire. You need to get to the problem behind the problem, which is you not living your purpose. The problem isn't the symptoms. Like what I mentioned earlier with the airplane needs symptoms, negative feedbacks to know that it's not on track. It's the exact same in your life. Your body is trying to give you symptoms, negative feedback to get you back on track in life. Now, imagine that you're an ant and you're going about your business in an anthill. There's many other ants there and you're going around your business and everything seems pretty harmonic there. But suddenly, an anteater comes and everything goes to chaos. And you get eaten by the anteater and that's it.
That's it? That's it?
Now, imagine that you're a person standing 100 meters away and you see a whole different picture, don't you? You actually see, even though there's chaos and you can see the chaos, you can actually see harmony as well. You see harmony and chaos. You see life and death, because the anteater wouldn't be alive if it couldn't eat the ants. So, at the higher consciousness, you will see a higher order to what apparently looks like chaos. And this is what I want to invite for you to think about in your life, is to get a higher perspective by asking powerful questions that will help you see a more objective view of what's happening. And the number one thing you can do right now is to actually discover your life purpose. I'll leave a link in the description so you can check out some of my stuff on how you can find your life purpose. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe to the video as well. If you don't like the video, please give me a thumbs down, but at least let me know why in the comment section.